Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Wahconah Weekly.
This week we have several stories for you, and we would also like to introduce John Cebula to the Wahconah Weekly cast.
Hello everyone.
I will be covering the Spirit Week that took place this week and the pep rally it culminated in.
I have a story about the trip that the juniors and seniors took to Barrington Stage Company.
I have some information on upcoming events, including the fall play and the homecoming dance.
And I have some sports updates for you. Let's get into it.
This week, Wahconah celebrated the Spirit Week, which has students dressing up in special ways to build up to an event. That week this week was a pep rally. The themes for the days were Twister Tuesday, where students dress in wacky ways, Which is Which on Wednesday, in which students twin with one another, Lions, Tigers, and Bears Oh My on Thursday, when people dress like animals, and there's a storm coming on Friday, which means that freshmen wear white, sophomores gray, juniors black, and seniors blue. We saw some interesting outfits this week, and we were very happy to see how the pep rally went as well. As for the pep rally, it was a great time for all. A good portion of the rally was dedicated to the unified sports of Wahconah, which has received recognition by various organizations, including the Special Olympics and Kathy Lutz, the general manager of said Special Olympics. In the beginning, the unified basketball team scrimmaged in front of Wahconah students as they cheered whenever someone scored. After that, the grades faced off in a competitive dodgeball game where the freshmen beat the sophomores, the seniors beat the juniors, and the seniors beat the freshmen in the final match, winning overall. Also, we got the chance to have an interview with Kathy Lutz and Aaron Robb about the Special Olympics recognition, which we will be playing now.
So we're here with Mr. Robb, principal of Wahconah, and this is Kathy Lutz, manager for Unified Sports in Massachusetts. So we were here to ask him a couple questions. Mr. Robb, I want to start with you. About the unified sports here at Wahconah, would you like to talk about some of the teams we have, maybe their recent efforts?
This is our second year in unified sports. Well, actually, it would be our third year in unified sports. We have our second year of unified basketball, and it's going to be this spring our third year of unified track and field. And this program was something that we discovered primarily happening in the eastern part of the state. And we wanted to get involved in the unified sports movement, which is really what it is. And we really wanted to bring it to Berkshire County. We tend to be somewhat the last part of the state to adopt things, and we wanted to jump right into the thick of things and really inspire other schools to do the same. So we are very excited about the fact that we've really established our presence in the unified sports movement, which has been growing by leaps and bounds across the state. Kathy's a very busy person now. She was probably busy a couple years ago, but really busy now.
And I also wanted to ask, so about the unified sports here and the pep rally, since the unified sports, the basketball team in particular, came to the pep rally and they had a scrimmage. When did you start planning that? Was that something you intended to do with Tribe a while ago, or was it something you just thought of?
Actually, we found out that we won the national banner at the very start of the school year. Mm-hmm. I think I was in a training for professional development training when we got the email, and it was, I think, a day or two before the students came back. So I reached out to Tribe, which is our spirit club, and I gave them a heads up about it, and they started to basically do some loose planning around it to time it for homecoming weekend. So that's it all worked out beautifully.
It was a wonderful event. It was something special to see. It really was. And it was great to hear from you, Mrs. Lutz, at the event. You had some very important things to say, and we were wondering about the national banner. Would you care to share some more information on that?
Sure. So Special Olympics has been working with schools for the last 12 years, and the Unified Champion School program is where we do support unified sports, youth leadership, and then whole school engagement. So those are our big anchors of what we try to fill. And to we are a sports organization, so we always kind of have that next level, or we're trying to achieve, higher standards. So they implemented a national banner program. So that's to recognize even more or higher levels in all of those components at your school. So really what Mr. Robb alluded to is this is really more about a movement of inclusion. But we focus on sports because it's an easy way for students to learn about each other and to celebrate, both abilities, through sports.
And I would also like to ask, what brought Wahconah in particular to your attention?
So there's a formal process. When we come to schools and we share about our programming, they agree to the tenets, youth leadership, whole school engagement, and unified sports. And then there are 10 standards that we provide, and if they hit those standards, they then go through the process of applying to Special Olympics North America. And then that information is taken in and we evaluate, are you hitting those standards and then some, and explain that, what you've been able to accomplish. And in that short time already, that you submitted the application and that you were approved. So you've been on a fast track, and we know that there's even more to come. So
Yeah, I would just add to that, Lucas, that what I love about the national banner status, because I don't want to look at it as an award, because award's something you receive and you kind of walk away. This is a status that we now have that we're going to continue to uphold and live up to. This isn't just about athletics. This is about how your school community comes together and tries to treat people with as much acceptance and inclusion as possible. So it's not just about athletics. They look at the whole school community. There's a lot of things and a lot of questions we have to answer that don't even have anything to do with athletics, but have to do with your community as a whole. So that's why we're especially proud of this.
So it's not something to gain, but more or less something to strive for, a standard to have.
Yeah, and keep living up to.
right.
And inspire other schools to do the same.
Hopefully they do take note.
Yep.
I'd like to thank you both for talking to us this week. We really appreciate it. And you can check the description for some information on unified sports and related activities in Massachusetts. If any of you are interested watching, you can look down there and find any of that information.
This Friday, a hefty number of juniors and seniors went to Barrington Stage in Pittsfield to see an award-winning show called The American Underground. Written by Brent Excari and directed by Julianne Boyd. The play focused on themes such as racial contention, family development, and the extent one should go through to protect themselves. The show featured a small yet highly talented cast and a detailed dynamic set. If you are interested in raising any questions on issues in America and what it means to be an adult, we suggest you go see the show.
This weekend, Wahconah is having its annual homecoming dance at the Stationery Factory. The event is taking place Saturday the 13th from 7 to 10. We hope everyone has an enjoyable evening. Also, the fall play Arsenic and Old Lace is coming up next week. Showings will be running on Friday the 25th and Saturday the 26th, with each starting at 7 p.m. The cast and crew have been working very hard to put it together, and the play itself is a classic. Tickets will be sold at the doors of the Wahconah Auditorium and are $9 for adults and $7 for students and seniors.
This week in sports, in golf, Wahconah lost to Mount Greylock on Saturday in a 174 to 194 match. For Wahconah, Dan Wilson led with a 45, followed by Patrick McLaughlin with a 46, Mike Cullett with a 49, and Emily Fagila with a 54. Then on Tuesday, Lennox topped Wahconah in a 172 to 200 match. Dan Wilson earned a score of 43, McLaughlin 50, Cullett a 52, and Frazier a 55. In soccer, Wahconah's girls soccer team had a tie with Monument Mountain on Friday in a 1-1 match. In that match, Chloe Accardi scored Wahconah's 1 point. On Tuesday, the boys team faced off against Pittsfield and lost sadly in a 5-1 match. The following day, however, Wahconah came out victorious against Drury in a 4-0 match. Brody Calvert and Kevin Heumann scored a pair of goals each, Donovan Keegan had 2 assists, and Ernie Lampron stopped 4 shots. In volleyball, Wahconah overcame Mount Everett in a 4-set win. Hannah Rose led with 11 assists, 7 digs, and a pair of aces. Kaylee O'Brien had 7 kills, 6 aces, and 26 assists. Along with that, Cassidy Kramus had 7 kills and 2 blocks. And then on Wednesday, Wahconah beat Monument Mountain in 3 sets. This gained them a spot in Western Massachusetts tournament. In cross country, the boys held a score of 22 and the girls a score of 30 on Wednesday. Hayden Kendall had a time of 17:05.99 and finished in 4th place. Haley Crozier earned 1st place with a time of 20:04.75. We would also like to note that there is a blackout football game this Friday, which will occur between the time of filming this episode and the uploading of it, so we will cover it next week.
Those are our stories from this week. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Remember to subscribe to the Dalton Community Television YouTube channel to see new episodes.
Be sure to leave a like and comment as well. We would also appreciate it if you filled out the form in the description to give us any suggestions for stories to cover.
Alongside that, be sure to follow our social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This has been Alex, John, Zach, and Ryan bringing you Wahconah Weekly. See you next time.